This weekend, famously car-loving Mr. Clarkson was deeply critical of Britain's seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, branding the F1 star as too woke. In a column published yesterday, the Grand Tour presenter claimed, "Lewis has changed." Mr. Clarkson said that the driver used to be normal when he first came onto the scene as a bright and talented young driver. However, Mr. Clarkson added, but then he decided to go woke and right on and more politically correct than a student union AGM. The broadcaster was then critical of Hamilton for painting his car black during the BLM movement, and for selling his jet in a bid to convince everyone to be vegetarian. Mr. Clarkson insisted in his Sun column that the driver's activism was ineffective in the real world, and that it merely incentivized people to throw something at him. The former Top Gear presenter had been critical of Hamilton in the past, once tweeting that the driver needed a smack bottom, while he has also blasted modern-day F1 on a number of occasions. Mr. Clarkson, whose F1 fandom dates back to the 80s, said he had grown tired of the sport and demanded change quickly. He said on YouTube channel Drive Tribe in 2019, "I want to see Gilles Villeneuve and René Arnoux wheel-to-wheel last lap of the French Grand Prix, and if Ferrari don't like that they can F*** off." In fact, Mercedes can F off. They can all F off. Ferrari saying, "Oh well, we have marketing strategies," and Mercedes saying, "Oh F*** off the lot of you." Let's turn it into a proper sport again and not some health and safety exercise. Mercedes have dominated the sport for much of the past decade, with Hamilton having picked up the bulk of the world titles in that time. Mr. Clarkson was speaking during the 2019 season, which ultimately saw the British driver pick up his third World Drivers' Championship. At the start of the season, Ferrari and Red Bull had made major changes to their cars to try and close the gap on Mercedes, yet Hamilton still won with relative ease. In a 2019 interview with Drive, Mr. Clarkson criticized the current crop of teams and drivers, and lamented the governing bodies for making the sport boring. He said, "I'd rather watch these grow a pot plant than watch a Formula One race, and I love motor racing." Number 1. Get rid of the stewards. Dangerous driving is what fans want, so if someone does dangerous driving, I'd give them an extra 5 championship points. The cars have to be stronger, they have to be able to withstand wheel-to-wheel action without bits of front wings coming off. And number 3, the governing body needs to look at what cricket did. They had a 5-day boring sport and they turned it into what we saw in the final of the World Cup, super overs and crowds chanting. Mr. Clarkson said he watched the Wimbledon final in 2019 instead of the F1 race that day, as the sport had become too easy for Mercedes and Hamilton. The broadcaster added, "I was watching the Federer-Djokovic final and meanwhile there was Lewis Hamilton. I'll just wait for a pit stop to come in and I'll overtake Bottas that way." However, the 2021 season has seen Hamilton tussle with Red Bull's Max Verstappen, with the title race to be decided in the next 2 months. Verstappen, who is chasing his first F1 title, has a narrow 12-point lead over Hamilton, with this weekend's race taking place at the Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez in bustling Mexico City.